Hello everyone, welcome to Cheap Comic Collector number 6. Today we're going to be going through this box of Disney comics that I just recently got. They were $1 an issue. With shipping they went up a little bit to, well actually I think I charged quite a bit for shipping, so they're actually turned out to be $1.65 an issue with shipping. But within my comic collection I have a Disney collection that's pretty extensive. And after I saw the condition of these after I got them, I was really happy with that price. So most when you buy Disney comics, usually the ones you find are pretty beat up and barely hanging together because they've been so well loved by children. But these are in pretty good shape. So stay tuned to the end. We'll be talking about the time I met Carl Barks. He is the creator of Uncle Scrooge and the Beagle Boys and pretty much all the Donald Duck, Uncle Scrooge supporting characters in the Duck universe of Disney Comics. So here we go. Beagle Boys number 24. Beagle Boys number 23. This one's got this extra 16-page fun catalog, which was basically a 16-page insert in the middle of the comic. Advertising toys. Each page usually had one toy advertised in a comic strip format where it's all drawn, and it was a fun little extra to get with your comics. Sometimes there's variants of the issues where they either did or didn't have the fun catalog. I know this issue, when I looked it up online, it had a variant where there was no the banner was at the top, but it was blank. It was just a blue strip, and it didn't have the catalog. So those are fun little extras. It seemed like you were getting a little extra when you bought the comic for your 25 cents. Kind of like the DC inserts that they did when they started advertising their upcoming comics, like the new Teen Titans had the insert in DC Comics Presents. Beagle Boys number 22. Beagle Boys number 29. Number 31. You spread these out a little bit to make the video look better. And number 34. Beagle Boys versus Uncle Scrooge number 4. This is the series that took over when they canceled the Beagle Boys. Basically, it's the same series. They just rebooted it into a number 1. Chippendale number 56. I really like this cover for the simple reason that it's got the silhouette of Mickey and Pluto in the back. That's a really cool detail that whoever the artist was just did a fantastic job by adding that. This is a Gladstone issue, Donald and Mickey number 22. I have most of the Gladstone issues. I have a few gaps where I didn't buy it because they did a lot of reprints. Basically, their entire series was reprints of something or other. So, if there was too much reprint material in the issue, I didn't get it. But now I'm able to fill in the holes in those runs, so that's good. This is Donald and Mickey number 29. It's got a cool cover by Don Rosa. Unfortunately, there's nothing in the issue that actually has anything to do with that cover. Personally, I think that would have been a cool story idea for Don Rosa to do, but he didn't like Mickey Mouse. He just wasn't interested in doing Mickey Mouse stories, so he just once in a while he'd use him on a cover, but that's about it. Donald Duck number 159. Donald Duck 172. Donald Duck 180. Donald Duck 186. Donald Duck 187. 197. Number 200 before anybody cared about anniversary issues. And this is Donald Duck number 299, 100 issues later. Donald Duck Adventures number 26. Uncle Scrooge 111. Uncle Scrooge 112. Uncle Scrooge 114. A lot of these issues have stories by Carl Barks, who just was an incredible comics creator, one of the legends of comic books. Studying and reading his work is like taking a master class in cartooning. His I don't think his work's ever gone out of print. Fantagraphics is still publishing a Carl Barks library that collects all his Disney work. And before that, there was one or two other collections done in America that did the same thing. It's just never going to stop. His work is that good. Uncle Scrooge 126, Uncle Scrooge 130, Uncle Scrooge 131, number 183, 133, sorry, 136, 137, 140, 141, 144, and we're going to spread these out a little bit. We're starting to get some glare on that cover, and I apologize for the last two videos that had the glares on the cover, so I didn't realize while I was filming until I looked at it afterwards. Uncle Scrooge 145, 147, 149, 151, 152, 153, 155, 157, 167, 173, 174, 175, 176, 183, 188, and this is a later Gladstone issue, number 307. Walt Disney's Comics and Stories 417. Not sure what the issue individual. 448, 460, 466. 504, 508, 509, 510, Uncle Scrooge Adventures number 28. It's got a Don Rosa cover for a classic Carl Barks stories. Uncle Scrooge Adventures 43, 45, 47, 53, 54, and this is Walt Disney Giant number 1. It's got a Don Rosa classic in it, where Uncle Scrooge is in the Yukon back in his early days. So that's that collection. There's some good stuff in here. I flipped through them when I got them to see what was inside, and there's a lot of Carl Barks stories and a couple of banned Carl Barks stories, and I think one of them I've never read before. So there are a few Carl Barks stories that have been banned by Disney to be reprinted because of racial stereotypes of the time, which, I mean they're, especially in these comics, they're basically nothing to be offended by, but Disney's on this kick where they want to ban everything that they used to do. So anyway, so let's get into Carl Barks. Like I said, Carl Barks created Uncle Scrooge, a lot of other things. This comic is the one I had him sign. You can see his signature here at the bottom. And this cover is one of his oil paintings. Basically, when I met Carl Barks, I met him at a Disneyana convention at Walt Disney World in Orlando. And they had a rule where you couldn't bring anything from home to have him sign. You had to buy whatever you were going to get at the show. And so I was kind of bummed because I wasn't going to stand in line just to meet him. And autographs don't normally mean anything to me, but this is special. So when we were going through the dealer's room, I found a seller that had comic books, and he was only charging 50 cents a comic. So I got this comic book for 50 cents. And then I went and got in line to meet Carl Barks. And there wasn't much of a line, mainly because the only thing they had for him to sign was his statues that he, helped create based on his oil paintings. I think the one that was there was like, I don't know, it was way beyond my reach at the time, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, who knows. But there was like 2 people in line, so I got in line and I took my comic book up there, and he started to take it, and one of his handlers came running over and be like, "Oh, you can't have him sign anything that you brought from home." And I was like, "Well, I didn't bring it from home. I bought it here." He's like, "Well, where'd you get it?" And quite belligerently, honestly. And I told him I got it in the dealer's room, and he asked what I paid for it, and I told him 50 cents, and you could just see the look on his face. It was just like, either I'm lying or that's ridiculous. And Carl Barks thought it was hilarious. He started laughing, and he took this comic and he signed it, and he looked through it, and you could tell just by the look on his face that he was delighted to be looking and signing a comic book that he actually created, rather than, a statue that he probably barely had anything to do with. And the handler, like, asked if he could borrow the comic for a second. And I said sure, and he took it, and he talked to some people over in the corner, and they were, his handler was kind of being a jerk. I don't know who the guy was. I don't know if he was with the Bruce Hamilton Company or what the deal was at that time. But he came back and gave it back to me, and I guess he decided he was being a little bit rude to me, because he asked me if I had any questions for Carl Barks, and I didn't. I was just a fan. I told him how much I appreciated his stories and like enjoyed his stories over the years, and he smiled at me, and like I said, he laughed the whole time he was signing, because of just the fact that I brought something in for 50 cents, and he never really talked. I think I read later that he had maybe a throat operation or something, and really couldn't talk very well. But my impressions were super nice guy, very soft spoken. Well, I mean, he didn't actually say anything, but super nice guy, very modest, very unassuming, and it was just a joy to meet him. This is probably the only autograph that I could care less about on a comic book, honestly. And I can't think of anybody else, even like Stan Lee and Jack Kirby and stuff. I mean, if they were still alive, I don't think I'd go through the trouble to get their autograph. This one just means a whole lot to me, so it's pretty cool. So thanks for watching. Next issue, or next episode, I keep wanting to call them issues. Next episode, we'll be going through another short box. I don't know which one, because they're gotten all mixed up, and I'll figure it out. So see you next time. Have a great day.